All right, so we want to thank everybody for being here. Long-winded too, according to some people in the chat room. So,
He
but
didn't think that would get spotted, did he?
no, I didn't think so. I thought I had a bunch of fans here. It's like I got the guys throwing tomatoes at me here. But no, Matt, we're thankful that we're able to be here today with you. And just for our purposes, can you just share with us a little bit about what you do and the crowd of people that are here today? What do you think their interests, where their interests lie a lot, and how we can better serve everybody today as we go through what we've been able to develop over the last 5 years with the ranking store and using Google to actually achieve what you want to achieve.
There's going to be quite a variety of people on the call because there are people from my own personal list, but the bulk of people will be from the Monkey Web Apps tools lists.
Okay.
So that's a series of 6 different SaaS apps that are designed for online business owners to do all sorts of different things to help out their business. Now, obviously, if you're running an online business, one of the biggest things you need in life is traffic, and being able to rank correctly, whether it's for your own sites or for local clients. Then you need to be able to generate traffic, which is why I was hoping for tonight to happen, so that you could show them what you do and how you do it, because getting that local traffic is one of the best kinds of traffic you can get. So yeah, there will be a wide variety of people and backgrounds, but all of them are online business owners or entrepreneurs of some sort building their business online.
So what are the suite of tools, just so that I get a real clear understanding of that?
The one that you might have heard of, the most likely that you heard of, was Commission Gorilla, which is for building bonus pages.
That I own? Yeah, okay.
There you go. There's another one called Conversion Gorilla, which is for adding conversion bars to the top of pages. There's another one called Page Dino, which is for building landing pages. There's another one called Genius Lander, which is similar, but goes through a different process to get more opt-ins on your list. And there's, what have I missed? There's Easy Lead Magnets, which we don't actually sell publicly at the moment. There's Chit Chat Chimp, which is a chatbot for your websites. We'll be launching that publicly in 6 to 8 weeks, I think it is.
Is that an AI chatbot or just a chatbot?
It's just a chatbot, but what we're actually doing, because ChatGPT is around nowadays, we're building a whole series of pre-built chats that you can use using ChatGPT to build these. So you'll get some models that you can using depending on your business model with Chit Chat Chimp to get you up and running quicker.
Okay.
And there is another one which I've totally forgotten offhand. Hang on,
well,
one second.
I think the goal for me would be to, even though I have a couple of those, we don't spend as much time as I probably should. So what I'll probably say as a little bit of a bonus is that what Gary and I will do, and maybe Anand, our VA, and Rod as well, we'll get in there and kind of really understand your tools a little bit.
Okay. The other tool is Feedback Fox, which is for getting more feedback, because obviously getting feedback and testimonials is a great way to improve your sales on online, because you can add those to your website. So Feedback Fox is a great way of engaging people and getting more feedback and more testimonials. So those are the 6 core apps.
Okay, so we'll put, anybody that participates with us today and likes what we have, they'll go into our support rooms, and if Randy will remind himself at some point later on, we can pop in and show everybody how crazy our support rooms are and how active that they are. So I'm sure with the support that I know that you give your crew, you would not want anybody that you're representing to do anything less than what you already are doing to enhance the experience with your customers and clients.
Indeed.
So we'll take a sneak peek in there, Randy, later on.
Sounds good.
When you're doing something, just to scroll through and kind of show some of the craziness that's going on and the amount of help that people get. And Matt, I think as a prelude for everything that you're doing as well, the best source for teaching and the best sorts for everybody to learn is when you give them a tool and you guide them on how to use it, but then they use their own initiative, ingenuity, and their brains of what they know how to do, and kind of twist what you thought was really good into something that's a masterpiece, right?
And come up with other possibilities, ways of using it that you hadn't considered. Yes, I've seen that multiple times with different software that I've helped develop, and then the users have taken it in different directions that we'd not even occurred.
Right. Well, Randy's an example of that, what we're going to show tonight. I mean, you know, prime example, but then even to the extent of what we're going to share tonight, other people have now taken what we imparted to him, and he's now expanded way out and to others, and now others are expanding it even further. I mean, it's just so cool when you see community, you know, come together and embrace what you're doing. And so, you know, with that, let me see if I can share my screen and bring up the slideshow for tonight, and we'll start if you're ready to go. Randy, you ready to go?
Yes, well, there you go. Let me see if I can turn on my video.
Should be able to.
Okay, talking, I can't, I'm looking for someplace that lets me do that.
I got to stop. Well, you should be able to turn your video on. That should have anything to do with sharing.
Well, it's not allowing me to do that.
Okay.
So,
hang on a second. You could have told me this while we were talking so that I could figure it out. All right.
I hate to interrupt the flow.
That's all right. I'll stop my video. Now see if yours will work.
Now I see the, give me just a second. Because we're now seeing view options. Okay. Yeah. Well, there we go. No, for some reason it's not showing a video, but hopefully, I mean, I can see the PowerPoint presentation. So
No,
when
hang on, I'll fix you. Hold on. I'll try to fix you.
Okay, I'm gonna do that again. Joanne's panel.
This is technology at its best, folks.
You should be a panelist now, I'm hoping.
I am now a panelist. So let me turn my video on. Come on. Okay.
If not, you'll go dark tonight.
Yes, I'll tell you, I'm just I keep clicking on that video button. At least it's there, but it does not want to show me. Must be one of those days where it's.
That's all right. Matt, you're okay if we don't have to watch him go through this with his face up there anyway, right? So we're good.
That's fine. However works best.
After webinars I watch, I never see anybody anyway. They just keep talking and talking and talking. So
this is true.
all right. So anyway, that picture there is Randy. We call him Grandpa.
Oh, it says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. Okay.
All right. Well, just keep going.
Okay.
Let's see here. I'll try to make you host, but in any case, let's go and start at the very beginning of the process. And what we're going to share with everybody here is if you write this link down, that is a tool that we use, Matt, that, you know, gives everybody an opportunity, just a real simple tool. And it allows people to mix and match and do crazy things. So let's see here. Everybody write that down, and they can go there, and it'll help in the things that you're doing as well. And it's a free tool. There's a free version to it, and it's all good from there. All right, let's see. Put on hold again. Change roll calls. I'm just gonna make you host, Randy.
Okay,
So if you're the host, I can't share my screen. You're gonna have to share your screen, okay?
okay. Well, I'll tell you when to move things on, so,
Well, I can't see it, so you gotta bring up the
Okay.
PowerPoint and go from there. I
okay,
don't think, oh, maybe I can do it. Okay, keep going. You're good.
okay. So go to second screen. There you go. Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you take over this part of it, as far as talking about it, and then I'll pick up, in a few minutes, okay?
That's fine. So Matt, what we've done here in using Backlink Factory is the key thing for Backlink Factory, especially for the pages that you're doing, you know, with the products that you've created, is to help get them ranked where they need to be ranked. For multiple keywords, and we use a process that we have for the last 5 years for ranking using Google, specifically Google, to create processes and using Google tools that you're familiar with, such as Google Docs, Google Sheets, Google G Sites, you know, the whole list of the Google products, right? So we've created our tools to make those processes easier. And so that we use backlinks, we use map variants for local. We created a tool to make the learning curve pretty simple for some of this stuff. And it really boils down to helps your local ranking and to really kind of get a boost. And Randy's going to share with you, you know, how that really can take off. Other tools that you might use is like IFTTT properties, and some of those properties are Google properties. So we use our links to fire up, you know, IFTTT properties, all through building quality backlinks. And those backlinks are Google backlinks. So here's a trick question. If you had any backlink that you could get that would bring authority to any product or any page or anything you're trying to promote, okay? In the chat, everybody tell me, what property would you want to have as your backbone for your backlinks? Let's see who can get that one really quick. Give me an Yahoo. Yeah, Scott Rogers, you are a Yahoo. Okay, Scott's my buddy. I can say that, right? So the answer to the question obviously is Google. G, Scott. Yeah, Google, Tracy says, right? So when we're using Google to help rank your sites on Google, we kind of have a really good recipe to do that. In addition to which, we have an indexer built in. But here's another trick question. When you are building backlinks, or you're building a Google site, or you're using another Google property, some people have asked us, you know, how do we get those indexed? And this is another trick question. And the answer is, how many people think that you need to get your Google properties indexed? Ken, Google backlinks is correct, right? How many people think you need to have your Google properties indexed for the website that you're building to get the power from those, or for them to actually be seen and crawled by Google? Anybody have the answer? Do they have to be indexed? Yes or no? Tracy says yes. Okay, who else? Let's get 10 answers on here. I do not know. Okay, who else? Matt, what's your answer? Probably not if they're a Google property.
Sorry, I've muted myself. You don't need to get them indexed. Google will know they're there. Google will find them.
Correct. So the misnomer is everybody thinks, well, you build these properties and they don't look like they're indexing, but you know, and I know that Google reads their own properties every 5 to 15 minutes when they're publicly available. So indexing isn't an issue. Okay. So that's why we put that in here, to kind of like make sure that everybody understands you don't need to have them indexed. They're already going to be powerful enough as they are. Okay. And then for people that are doing affiliate marketing as well, you can use the Google properties and build what everybody's familiar with. You've heard of stacks and Google stacks and indexing stacks, all kinds of stacks, right? And so when you take a Google property and you stack it on another Google property, and then you stack it on another Google property, and then you send all that juice from those 3 Google stacks out to your prospective website, video, Amazon product, or whatever, it gets to be pretty powerful. Would everybody agree with that? So give me 1 if you agree with that, and we will go on to the next one. And I think we've got a couple ones coming in. Yep, one. Absolutely. So understanding the philosophy right here at the beginning is going to help you understand what you're going to see as Randy, kind of goes through the slides and shares with you what it is that we're going to share with you today. Okay. So, with that being said, we're going to kind of move on and smoke the competitors with Google backlinks. We're going to merge anchor text together. We're going to put in spinning 10 boxes or text boxes, unlimited URL boxes, parent and child folders. This right here kind of goes back into the stacking, primary keyword stacks. We're going to be talking about custom keyword stacks, map variants, NAP. Everybody knows what NAP means: name, address, and phone number, and more, right? So, with that, we're going to give you a peek inside exactly how this is done. And we're not going to leave anything unturned. It may take us a minute to get this done for you, but are you guys ready to kind of like see how this works in reality? POI Factory is going to be one of them that we're going to be looking at here today. And can anybody tell me what POI means? Read the screen and you can tell me the answer, right? Points of interest, Ken, you're exactly right. So points of interest, and I want to define something for everybody. Point of interest for us doesn't necessarily mean point of interest in the true generic sense of a POI. Most everybody think of a point of interest, is how we can look at a library as a point of interest. We can look at the police station as a point of interest. We can look at the hospital as a point of interest. And that's really what a POI really is. But we've kind of taken that to the next level, and Randy's going to, kind of show you, exactly what that actually means when we get to him showing us the POI. Okay. So with that beginning, I'll just give you a little history on Randy, and then we'll get right into what he's going to share with you. Randy came to us, and I'm going to assume by having my conversations with Randy that he never actually knew anything about what he's going to share with you today. Is that right, Randy?
That's absolutely right.
So
I might be like some of you guys sitting in watching this webinar for the first time. I really didn't even believe in ranking your sites, because everybody I'd ever talked to, it took them 6 months, 8 months to do it. And I couldn't see a business waiting around for 6, 8 months before they ever started ranking. So I might have even come into this with a little bit of a negative attitude.
exactly, because you were already working with your son, who's a dentist, right?
Yep.
And what was his story?
His story was he had hired, his accountant had recommended a guy who was supposed to be a top-notch SEO guy in ranking their GMB. And he has 4 practices in Michigan, and he was paying them a boatload of money. And that was actually for 3 of them. And one of them was just a startup, and we'll talk about that in a second. But he was paying them a boatload of money. And after a year and a half, almost 2 years, the best he had ranked any of his GMBs was, he had ranked them number 9 for one keyword in the Grand Rapids area. So needless to say, he wasn't too pleased with what was going on. And when I got involved with Backlink Factory, and what you're going to look at tonight, I went to him and I said, you have a site that nobody's touched. They set up your GMB, they set up your website, but nobody's done anything with it. And let's use that as a test site. And at the time, what he was doing is he was transitioning and opening up, wanting to do more business with dental implants. And so he wanted to focus on that particular keyword. And so we said, let's use this as a starting point, because it's not, couldn't even find it anyplace on Google. You went over the first 100, listings, and you just couldn't find it. So it really turned out to be a good place for us to go to. And so what ended up happening is, one other point to make was that particular site did not even, the Google My Business listing did not even mention dental implants, nor did his website mention dental implants, because it was a new site and they weren't doing dental implants there at the time. They were bringing on some newer people to, newer dentists to be able to run that site, run that practice. And so, I guess you would say that was a story of a test that pretty much had everything against it that you can think of. But for us, it provided a really good test. And so what I ended up doing is, and we'll get into this further in a second, but the business had been up and running for about 18 months. It usually takes about 2 to 2.5 years before you're breaking even with a dental practice. And at that point in time, they needed 23 patients to break even. He was averaging about 20 to 26 new patients. So he was some months he was breaking even, some months he was going over. And so to move the story, towards the end, what ended up happening is I ranked him in the Google 3-pack for dental implants and the related dental implant keywords. I did that in the first 30 days. So he went from invisible to being in the 3-pack within that 30-day period. And then what ended up happening is the first 30 days after we ranked him in the 3-pack, he went from getting, like I said, 20 to 26 patients a month. That month, he got 47 new patients. So, it really demonstrated how important it was for him to rank in the Google 3-pack. And so with that, Patrick, could you jump down the slides further to the point where I was ranking in the other keywords? Not those. Just go on further for a second. Okay, right there. Okay. So what happened is this was a picture during that 30-day period. At the end of the 30-day period, I sent a text over to Patrick and Gary saying, this is insane. I mean, I'm targeting dental implants, which I'm ranking for, but I was #1 for dentists, #1 for dentists near me, for emergency dentists near me, emergency dental services, emergency dentist Muskegon, emergency dentist near me, emergency dentist near Muskegon, Michigan. Hit the next one down, Patrick, please. The next box. Oh, best dentist in Muskegon, cosmetic dentist, dental clinic near me, dental hygienist. I mean, and I was not even targeting those words, which is, for me was just insane. And if you could jump up to 2 slides there, Patrick. Yep. No, one more down. Right there. Okay. So this was one of his practices at the time, and we were ranking #2 almost all over the map. If you'd hit the next one, this was one of his other practices. We were #1. So as we were going through, we were just getting insane results. So I'm gonna jump forward on my screen because I want to show you something. So I'm gonna,
If you can, I'm not sure if you can share your screen, but
yeah, I can. I will do it right now.
okay, cool. There we go.
Okay, so what I wanted to show you was right now, today, these are the results as of today. Okay, dental implants. Okay,
Well, wait a minute, before you do that, we want to challenge everybody that has a question about, he's in his account, he's not in incognito, he's living right there in town, right?
okay,
Everybody can do this from their own computer and double check the stack.
yes. If you don't have this particular tool, get it. It's free, and it's what is it called? GS Location Changer. And you can change it to any place in the world. In this case, it was Muskegon, Michigan, because that's where his dental practice was. Okay. So I changed them over to Muskegon, Michigan. And as of today, Infinity Dental High Point Flats, which was the practice that we were talking about, it was our test case, is number one. Infinity Dental Norton Shores, which is one of his other practices, is number two for dental implants. For dental implants in, this one was just the word dental implant rather than dental implants. Dental implant were number 2 and number 3. Dental implant cost were number 2 and number 3. Dentist, just a plain old word dentist in Muskegon. So he typed in the word dentist, Infinity Dental High Point Flats was number 1. Dentist near me, Infinity Dental Implants, number 1. So, you know,
That's like live right now that you're doing it, right?
Yep. That's
What was the name of that extension? Somebody was asking?
the name of the extension is GS Location Changer.
Okay.
It's a Google extension. And I'll tell you, it's just what happened. We didn't just get there, we've stayed there all this period of time. Now, what that has meant to his business is his dental implant business right now. At that time, you know, they were getting some business. Couldn't tell you exactly how much. Let's say that he was probably doing in the range. I think when we were talking at that time, he was doing in the range somewhere between $5,000 and $10,000 a month in dental implant business. Okay, he's now doing over $80,000 a month.
Wow.
Dental implant business. And just to put that in perspective, he's running into a problem, okay, because we are ranking for all these other words. And in the last in the last month and a half, he's brought on 5 new dentists. He's looking for another dentist. He has one office that if you want to get in to see him, and this is where the problem lies, okay, he's booked out through almost the end of May before you can get an appointment with him. And dentists don't like you not to be able to get in and have an appointment within, generally a 10-day period. But he's having so much business coming to him that he's booked out that far. And like I said, he's looking to bring on another dentist. Currently, he currently has drawings for a new 8-opt dental implant center that's going to attach to one of his buildings and expand that building, which he plans on starting in 2024. So, local business, when you get them into 3-pack, really is powerful, because we know that the people that hit more places to see what's going on beyond this, there's only 8% of the people.
Not me. I don't do it.
Okay, 92% of the people going to the 3-pack, are never go any further. And not only do they not go any further, what's absolutely insane about it is if you're in the 3-pack, people tend to think that you are the best, whether you are or aren't. they tend to think you are. So for an example, where a dentist near me, we have Infinity Dental, High Point Flats being 70, they have 76 reviews, which is not a ton of reviews compared to his other offices. But, you know, no reviews for this particular dentist. It's funny, when Google's done some things recent, they had a kind of a mix up a couple weeks ago, and everybody was looking and saying, man, how does it affect us? I went in and looked at our stuff, and all of his practices didn't hurt him at all. But now you're seeing a few people like this show up where there's no reviews. He doesn't even have his website up there. This one only has 3 reviews, and there's some better dentists than that. It just mixed everything up. It was crazy. So, you know, obviously what I found happened with Patrick made me very, very comfortable with doing, you know, the processes that Patrick has taught. And like I said, I was sitting one day when the first time I saw this in your seat, wondering to myself, could this be true? And I've proved it to myself. And the interesting things, there's been other people in the Skype group, and I'm going to show that in a second before we get into the software, that as I entered it, you know, I can think of half a dozen people who have talked to me, and they started off, you know, what about this? I'm going to test this before I really do it, you know, go out and share it with anybody else. I've got a good friend over here. I'm going to do it for him for free. And they're getting the same results. You know, they're ranking these people all over the place. I know one of my friends in the group, he had a friend who's a photographer, and he ranked them out like 20, 25 miles. And it was, I think, 2 months before I got the rankings out there. It's just insane. So I'm going to go into the software here in just a second, but I do want to share one thing because otherwise I'll forget it. And that is the activity of the group. This is our Skype group, and this is Backlink Factory.
Look at how many people, look at the very top, how many people, guys, are in this room.
There's 431 people in the room, and this is just the activity that's gone on today. You see this part up here? This is just going on today. You know, it's insane. Now, here's a fellow who I'll tell you, it's you cannot believe how much information is shared by people who are, yeah. This particular gentleman here, he says, I'm running a test about 2 weeks ago and created a calendar stack, which Gary's going to talk about at the end, modifying what Gary teaches, and had immaculate results from a national client in the legal sub-niche, running everything Gary has mentioned in docs and just tweaking a few things. And then he talks about the pay, you know, it's now on, I think it was, yeah, I think it was on page 1, rank number 4, something like that. You know, it's just crazy. But, you know, the information that we get out of this group is just insane. And it's just people helping other people succeed. And, you know, I belong to, I think, 3 other mastermind groups right now, and they don't even begin to touch what's happening with what we're seeing in this particular group. In fact, one thing I'll show you is this is my important notes from Backlink Factory. Okay, Scott Rogers today had a great thing to share with us.
He's actually on the call with us tonight.
Oh yeah, Scott, I tell you. Here's another one that Jason had shared, and that was just yesterday. I mean, I'm grabbing all sorts of information from these guys, and I've got 127 pages now of just great information coming from the guys in this group that aren't just what Patrick and Gary are teaching, although, you know, probably 75% of those notes are better. 80% of those notes are all from Patrick and Gary. It's just insane. So what I want to do is just take a second here and show you the software and what it does and how quickly it does it.
Before you do that, Randy, I have one quick question, and I want everybody kind of just, if you could, put an answer in the box. If you could, if you could get just one new client, and we'll show you how you can do that, and they will never know that, you know, you're doing what you're doing until you show it to them, which is a technique that we use to get new business. But if you could get one new local business, whether it be a plumber, whether it be a dentist, whether it be, you know, any one of the local service businesses in your particular area, because all areas are different, would everybody tell me how much would you charge per month for one generic service area business in your town? And the numbers should be totally different, because if you're in LA, it's going to be different than if you're in, you know, Arkansas, right? So everybody put a number in the chat. 900 to 1,500. That's a very, very good, reasonable amount to charge, Ken. And you guys can put this in the general chat. You're sending them all just directly to me, so other people can't see them. But, you know, who else has got a number? Scott, what can you get in Phoenix? 1,200, Tracy said. Very, you know, very good, very nominal number, right? So between 900, 1,200, Scott's in Phoenix, it's probably going to be closer to 1,500. So let's take the low one. Let's take $900, right? So if we could show you a way of getting new customers without ever asking them and already proving what you can do, you know, Matt, I'm sure you're probably familiar with the process, you know, that SEO has oversold their worth, you know, a lot. Everybody, you know, that's in SEO think that they're worth a lot more than they actually are for the most part. And as Randy shared, you know, they don't even deliver sometimes. So if you can go in and say, you know, okay, Ken, $900 a month times 12, right? That's $10,000 a year. Can you get one customer, just one, after what you're going to see tonight, as Randy's done? And if you could get one customer, then everything that we are sharing with you and telling you tonight, would you say that it's worth it for you to get one customer, just one? You don't have to go and get a bunch, just one customer, right? So everybody just tell me whether or not you think it's worth it. You know, how much would you spend? Would you spend, you know, $5,000 to get one customer that's going to make you 12 grand a year? Okay. Not that that's the cost, but I'm just saying, would you do it if you knew that it would work? And that's the reason why I don't do these webinars anymore. I only bring people on who have actually done the work, are in the trenches with you, and you can believe what Randy's saying, because number one, he's older than dirt, so he's not going to lie. Okay. And he's in there doing it. He showed you his notes. So with all that being said, you know, let's go ahead and share with everybody the magic of automation.
Okay, well, I'm going to add to that. The reason it says I'm older than dirt, I'm 74 years old, and he figures that if I can learn it, anybody can learn it. And well, how true that?
I would say that you're older than me, so it's okay.
Yeah. But and just to add on that, remember, I came into this thing not sure it was worth it. Right now, I'm offering it to dental implant customers around the country, and my approach to them is I'll rank them in the 3-pack before I charge them anything, and then they pay me they pay my contract, which is going to be $3,500 a month. Remember, I'm, you know, they'll make, you know, $80,000 a month getting into 3-pack. But I'm so confident that using this software that we can, because I do have other clients that we've used this software for besides just my son. And like we have a contractor client, and we have him ranked for 108 keywords in the 3-pack. And he's getting on average anywhere from 10 to 15 new calls a day, and he ends up closing about 50% of them. And his average sale is between 10,500 and I think it's 13,000 for his services. So, you know, it's this works in, you know, any field. But let me go through the software and just show you how easy it is. So the first thing that you do is you're going to identify.
Make your screen full screen. We still see your Google Documents on the left.
Okay, this one, do a second.
There you go. There we go. Now it does look small, everybody. Zoom does that. We can't help it. But I'm sure, you know, when you watch the replay or whatever, you'll be able to see everything pretty well.
So I'm going to type in his, we're going to use the Infinity Dental.
Okay.
Infinity Dental, and it brings down his practices. So now this is going to be a little bit slow because we are on Zoom.
Okay.
But usually, I mean, this is pretty close
For
to.
anybody not familiar with the process that we're sharing with you on how to look up your business? Is everybody familiar with it? Give me a 1 if you are, 2 if you're not. So I need to know if we need to 1. Okay, cool. Thanks, Tracy.
Okay. So what we've done is we pulled up the business, because the next step is, and it grabs information that's relevant to us being able to find this particular thing on the map. So when we go about setting this up, what happens is we're going to check a box. One is the location, if it's somebody like a dentist or an attorney, where somebody is going from where they are to your location. The other is if they're on your location, or excuse me, the other one is if you're somebody like a plumber and you're going out to somebody's location. So your starting point is at your location and you're going out to, you know, a business, a house, whatever. But because I'm doing this for a dentist, it's going to be my location. We have the ability to have driving directions, walking directions, cycling directions, transit, and flying. I tell you the truth, I don't know why flying is in there, because Google's API only lets you go out 3 miles anyways. There's ways to get around that, but you know, just there are some limitations. But what we're looking at is generally when we search an area, and what we're going to be producing is we're going to produce driving directions that are associated with a bunch of keywords that we're going to put in here relevant to that particular site. So rather than just pure simple driving directions, these driving directions are relevant to some keywords. And so the way I explain it to somebody is, if you're you want somebody who's 3 miles away, 5 miles away, that when they search for your business, it's the same as they're searching for it if they're standing in your lobby. And so, you know, we will be entering some keywords to do that. This allows you to do iframes. Now, for our purposes, or what I do all the time, is I change the height of this iframe to 25 pixels. And the reason I do that is I wanted to, if I'm putting it on a website, for an example, I want that to show up as a division bar, so that, you know, people don't see all the metadata that's, you know, sitting behind it. Now I'm going to go back to shrinking this just a little bit, because I need to get some words in here. So I'm going to grab these keywords. I'm going to copy them over here. I'll copy them here as well for my anchor text. And now expand it. So what's happening is I'm saying that when we put these directions together, we want to have them all be related to the keywords that I have here. And if I'm going to put them on my website, and you need to do it with an iframe, I want the same thing to happen here, and I'll show you that in a second. But the first thing we want to do is we want to go find some map points. Now, think of this, and I did this. In fact, I'm going to change this around just a second. No, I'll do the cycling, not the walking. What we're going to do is we're going to look for some maps around his business, some locations, some POI locations, and they're going to be within a 2-mile radius. And if I'm going out 2 miles, I don't figure somebody's going to be walking, but they're going to be, riding a bike, cycling, or they're going to be driving. So I'm going to go ahead and hit find the POI pins for this, and it's going to go out and it's going to identify a bunch of things. In fact, it just found 60 of them that are located around his particular business, some close, some of them further apart. Now, I'm kind of, I don't know, analytical, some people call it anal, whatever one you want to call it. But what I've done is I looked at this and said, if I had to do what I'm doing here manually, where I go out and open up my browser, find the location of my son's dental practice, then go find a location and create a driving directions to it. And then from there, I want to attach the keywords into the driving direction. If I go through that whole process, and then I use that to go into Backlink Factory, what I found out is it would take 54 full-time employees to do what I can do with this software in minutes. Okay, 54 full-time employees. And when I talk to a client, one of the things I'll say is, you might have a great SEO guy, you may have a great guy ranking, but if you want him to do what I can do for you, he's going to have to go out and hire 54 people to do it, because my software, which is proprietary software, allows me to do it in an affordable way for you. And so what I've done is I've started going out and getting some map points here, and I'm going to take all these places that it found, and I'm going to send it over to my POI tool. So that just entered all those locations into this POI tool. Now I'm going to take that, and the next step in the process is I want to take those and create my point-to-point directions. Okay, so that when I say point-to-point, going from point A to point B being my son's dental practice. And so to do that, I end up hitting this little button that says point-to-point interest, and boom, I've got driving directions to 120 URLs. That's actually more than I wanted to do, because I'm going to have to cut out a bunch of them.
Do I hear any wows? Anybody excited so far? I mean, that I said it out loud. Ken said,
I
mean, seriously, guys, this is so incredible. I know it takes a little while to hear it, but man, once you see the power of this,
I mean, how long, if you took and just did one driving direction, just one, how long would it take you to be able to go out and find that and attach all these keywords to it? It's just insane. It's absolutely insane.
I'll tell you this, Randy, if I was cooking a steak and had to go do this, by the time I got back, my steak, it would be charbroiled charcoal.
Yeah, it would be. Let me go back. I'm going to clear this out for a second, because I want to go on to the next step. And I actually created a few more places than I wanted to create. So I'm just going to eliminate the cycling directions here and redo the same thing.
For Ken,
I'm going to clear this
question, which is, that's great, but how does this help everybody rank? And it's a process, and we don't want to just jump to the end of the story without you seeing everything in the middle, because what you see in the middle is important for you to understand the outcome, and it also helps you understand how you can do other things that we're not going to teach you here, but you can find when you're in the room, and it all will make sense. If you just drop to the, where Cinderella, gets the prince, there's not much value of us sharing this with you. So just have to hang on or come back and watch the replay.
So what's happening is right now we're going to, again, go to point. This time it's 60 URLs because I just used one driving direction. Got a new set of, actually, these are a new set of point to points. So that's the first step of the process. And process is very quick. Now, it took me a little bit of time to explain it to you, to show you the software, but it was, it's just that fast. Now, what I'm going to do is go into our next software to complete the process.
While you're doing that, I want to answer Carlos's question. He says, looks
Okay.
powerful and hard to learn for non-techies like myself. You want to answer that part of it, Randy? Hard. It looks powerful, but hard to learn for a non-techie.
It really is not hard to learn at all. Like I said, if I can learn it, anybody can learn it. I go into a room sometimes, forget what I went in there for. But the thing is, it's all a process. If you do, in this particular process, for an example, it was create a GMB place.
That's it. With an address.
Okay. Then to find my pin maps.
Automatically done for you.
Yeah. Oh, I had to go here. I had to say whether it was going to be driving, walking, and that. And once these are in there, I turn around. I save this POI because I want to come back and not have to redo this again. So once it's set up the first time, I don't have to go back and redo it. Only thing I want to change are the POI points, but the rest of it I want to stay the same. So that's the second part, is loading this in, your keywords. And then the third part is to go find your map pins by doing this. Fourth part is to send that to your POI tool. And the fifth part is to then hit the point-to-point URLs. And that will end up being, I just hit it again, so it doubled it up.
Oops.
Yeah, that's what happens when you do it, but that's not a problem because I just go back and I'll hit it again. This time it will only be.
I think possibly what's worrying, Carlos, is there's a lot of data involved, but the system's actually dealing with all the data for you. You're just pressing the right buttons in the right order. So the process is simple. It's step by step. It's just there's an awful lot of data that the system is gathering and then processing and dealing with for you, which does make it look like there's a lot going on, because there is a lot going on, but you're not actually having to do the heavy lifting. The software does it for you. The system takes care of it. Sorry for chipping in.
No,
No, absolutely.
That's an excellent. I'm gonna record that for myself so I can answer it that way.
It's already recorded.
No, thanks, Matt, because I mean you're spot on, man.
Okay, so I want to clear this out. I want to go to the next spot, and I don't want to have to undo a bunch of things. So I apologize for repeating myself here, but I'm going to do that just for a moment because it only takes a second to do.
But it kind of reiterates what Matt was just saying. The process does the work for you. You just have to follow through with each of the process.
Okay, so there's our 60 URLs. Okay, so the next point of the process is we want to send backlinks from Google to our GMB. So just like we did with the other one, we're going to set up our GMB map, which the software allows you to do. It finds all the information you need to know about your GMB. It gives you, your location address, the map URL, latitude and longitude, the plus code, all the map data, all the embed code data, the NAP data is here.
Automatic for you. Yep, all automatic.
It's all your CID and your knowledge graph. Everything is there that you're ever going to need for your GMB. And what we're going to do is we then send that information over to our areas here where you can do put it in these particular boxes. And I'm showing you the part that goes to the GMB. You can use this software as well to send backlinks to just other properties. We don't recommend that you send them over to properties like your money site without putting it into some kind of a buffer, because you're going to be sending so much juice to it that you could really hurt your money site if you were, to send it directly. So we do, when we create this, we generally will send these backlinks then back over to a buffer site, so that and then the buffer site would then go to our money site. So using the two softwares and combinations, I have my keywords in there. You have the ability to create custom keyword stacks, which I've done down here. You have the ability to create stacks if you're going to be doing, stacks. If you're familiar with doing, stacks to, build up the juice, you can do that. But I'm just going to keep it with my custom stacks. Now I'm going to go back to our POI factory, and I'm just going to copy all these links. So I've copied those now. And from that, I'm going to go into my, I'm going to go in my property here, and I'm going to paste them in. And now I'm ready to do backlinks. The only issue is, after a lot of testing by Patrick and Gary and other people in the group, what they found out is you really want to limit it to be under 1,000 backlinks, because when you actually, and this is in terms of rows, because the number of backlinks you're producing is 3 times that number. So it'd be 3,300, so it'd be 3,420 backlinks is what this would be.
That's a lot of backlinks.
Yep. And so what we want to do is we want to just reduce that, so we're in a safe zone. So I'm going to just delete a few of these destinations here in order to make sure that happens. Just trying to find.
Carlos, you can put anything in here that you want, my friend.
Yeah.
So Matt, as he's doing that, thinking of the products that you've created, which are all for your customers to rank and help and get, cut links and drive traffic, especially on your website, all right, which is probably 100% optimized already. Can you see how sending some of this traffic, this power of backlinks back to the sites that your clients and all your customers and your community is making?
For me personally, I can see many different ways that I could use this. It does depend on each individual's business, but for me, yeah, I would get massive value out of this. But I work with local clients as well as my online business, so I have many opportunities. Basically, anyone, if you've got an online website of your own, you can use this for backlinks. You want to be careful about, as you say, the not sending 3,000 in one go. The possibilities are endless.
Right. I mean, we have a lot of people that are using this for affiliate program, right, as well.
I don't see any reason why you couldn't use this for an affiliate program. Yeah.
Yeah. One quick story. While he's modifying this, we have one lady. She had a puzzle book on Amazon. She was ranked 1 million. Does anybody understand that 1 million is not a good thing on Amazon? And so utilizing this process and some teachings and everything else, she has a puzzle book, and she got, in like 3 weeks, it dropped all the way down to 25,000 from 1 million. Okay. And the effect of that was her puzzle book did not make #1 in the rankings in Amazon. But Matt, what happened was the puzzle was about a Western hero of the past. And so that's the book everybody was buying, was his book, not her puzzle book. But you know what Amazon does when you buy something, they give you those little plus this, and do the add-ons. If you buy this, you need to buy this, and this as a bundle, right? So the effect of what she got was Amazon put her in the bundle, even though she wasn't rated #1, but she's in the bundle with a #1 rated book. How cool is that?
Perfect cross-selling without you having to do any extra work.
Exactly, right? I mean, that's one of those things where my eyes popped out. Just when people do different things and try and stretch the boundaries, we get really a lot of cool things happening.
So what's happening here is you get to select what Gmail account you want to associate this with. And for my son, for an example, I have each one of his practices on a different Gmail account. So I'm going to take a moment and just open one of those Gmail accounts up for High Point Flats, just so that we can see what's, going to be happening here. Move this out of the way. This is going to be sending that information over here to his Google Sheets. And let me shrink this and I'll come back to that in just a second. And so we're now at the point where we've got our keywords we want to be attaching to these directions. We got our driving directions that's going to his location. We're going to send just a bunch of backlinks to his location. We're going to stack it up with some keywords that I want to put a little more emphasis of power on, being dental implants near me, dental implant near me, and so forth, dentist near me. And the next thing you do once this is set up, and again, you can save this and just pick it up at the, the next time around and, start doing it all over again. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to upload. And when you hit the upload button, all that's going to do is start publishing this.
You're going to open up your Google Sheet?
Yeah, I'm going to open up my Google Sheets.
Because we want to show you how this works in real time. Look at this.
Now that was from earlier. It's going to pop in here pretty quickly. There it is, the first one, 805.
Yep.
Dental implants popped in there. There's another one, just dental implant near me popped in there. So it's just, automatically dumping them into his Gmail or his G account, his Google account, putting it into the spreadsheet. And we know that Google goes in every 5 to 15 minutes onto your, your public, sheets.
Google properties, yeah.
If you made it the Google property, you public, it goes out and it finds this information and it goes out and, creates a link to it. And what that looks like, for an example, is these are the sheets that are being created, where we have, 3 rows of them. And I want to get off the row there. There we go. Get here. Okay. We have.
You can see all the anchor text are the key words that you're trying to send to your property, where Google reads the keyword and associates that keyword with your property, if that makes sense to everybody that might not know. That's why we do it this way with the keyword.
Dentist, dental implants, all of them. And by the time we get down to the last one, we have 950 links times 3. So just under 3,000 links that we just created being sent to our Google property. That's going to your GMB property. It's not going to your website, it's going to your GMB property. Now, your GMB property, for most people when they set it up, then links over to their to their money site. And so what ends up happening is you have, just all this power circulating through. And when you look at, how powerful that is using G sites, in all the Google properties are all ranking with a high domain authority. I created a G property that I tested out about a week ago was last time I took a look at it. It had a domain authority of 97, a page authority of 49, and a social a spam score of 0.
Yeah.
I mean, it's insane. So we just created all those backlinks going over to his property. And if I were to take this process, because now I'm familiar with it, and go from A to Z, it ends up taking me, about 15 minutes. Now, the first time I did it, it took me an hour, because I wanted to make sure I did this and I want to make sure I did that, all in order. But, after the first time, then it was just, putting it all together and away you go. And then, we've just provided our GMB with a lot of juice, which is when you're doing that and you don't do it every day. You want to go kind of slow and easy. So I do this once a week for his sites. I've been doing it once a week since, we ended up, starting with,
Sure. You don't want to do it too fast, right?
Yep. And never had any problems. Like I said, ranked them, continue to rank them. He's happy as all get out because, it's doing what he wanted it to do, which is to generate a lot of business for his practices. And that's what you can do for any client. So I guess that's pretty much all I have to do, Patrick. So I'm going to stop. Let's see. Can you take the screen back, or what do I have to make you?
No, we're good. Let's stay right here in case anybody has any questions, right? So Ken is asking a good question. He says he's confused a little bit. We're creating driving directions to the client location.
Yep.
From various POI for walking, cycling, and driving, and then creating a keyword-rich file in Google Sheets that contains keywords and driving directions. Do I have that right? No. You put too many dots between directions and do I have it right? You said that better than I could. This makes me irritated. Randy, you do a great job. Right? But Ken, I'm just teasing you, but you're spot on, my friend. Now, the reason that we want to do this and over 4, 5, 6 weeks is the one thing that Randy shared with you, if you go back to the software, is you can save this whole process. So think about this, Matt, right? You save the whole process with the save button. You come back next week and then you change the keywords, add more different keywords in there. Take the 3 boxes on the bottom where we have metadata, okay? And then you can add to the metadata on the bottom, you can change that whole metadata around because that metadata is already embedded in the keywords that were created. So now you change those 3 boxes. And one of the ninja stuff that we teach is if this is a plumber in New York City or a plumber in Kansas, go to Wikipedia and type in what is a plumber. Okay, Matt, you know all about metadata, right? And I'm sure you teach that to all your students as well. So now you take that Wikipedia and you put it into that second box or that third box. And now what that happens to do is just permeates the metadata into the link back to your site and gives Google a reason to know that your site and the links that you're creating to your site is all about a plumber. Does that make sense, guys? Give me a 1 if that makes sense.
So this is what you're doing right here.
Yep. Copy the whole, we don't even take out we just copy the whole bloody thing. Okay? The whole bloody thing. Same data. What we change the data out. I change Ken the data out in these boxes. I don't leave it the same all the time. That's just what I do. Other people do different things, right? So now you got Wikipedia. Okay. So now what if you were to take some of your links instead of the links that we have for driving directions, because we've done that. How about go to their YouTube channel, pick up their playlist. Okay. And now start shoving backlinks to their YouTube channel or their Facebook posts or their Instagram posts. I want you to get a bigger vision of the possibility of all the data that you can put in these boxes to change where that content can flow from and flow to. So these links that instead of driving directions, take some of those links and use your, like I said, your YouTube directions. Matt, when you're trying to drive traffic in some of the processes and the programs you created already, I'm sure you can already, your mind's probably going crazy, like, well, I could take this with this program and that with this program and put it with this box over here and then modify that and the keywords and send all of that to a buffer page. That buffer page is now all sent to my home page on the website that you've created with your monkey program. Does that make sense, Matt?
You actually used the example that I was typing away some notes for myself. YouTube videos, playlists. Yeah, that's brilliant. And Instagram Reels. Yeah, anything like that. Just your long list of videos that you want to use. It's perfect for it. Absolutely perfect.
And with, with some properties, let's say it's an Amazon property or it's a YouTube property, you don't have to wait every 7 days.
Right.
You can hit that harder.
They're because they're like YouTube is a Google property. You could do this once a day. You don't have to wait a week. Okay. So there's just so many cool things that we can do with this, and I don't want people to get confused. But I just want you to know, like what Matt just said, he's writing down notes. It's kind of interesting that that's exactly what I was saying at the same time. But this is metadata. Metadata is gold, right? It tells Google what you want them to know about where you're sending that keyword to. So important. And we go through a lot of that in the training in the Skype chat rooms, right? So I don't want to belabor it, but that's pretty much the whole scenario. And I know that it might look a little bit intimidating, but as Matt said, the hard work has been done. You guys only need to understand the top 5% of what this is to get the absolute power out of it, right? Carlos says, really clever when doing affiliate marketing and e-com, do you avoid high competition keywords? Would I avoid high competition keywords? No, I would go after them like crazy because they're only high competition keywords to people who don't know what they're doing. When you understand the process of what we're doing here, those high competition keywords become candy to you. Okay. You have the process nobody else has. Nobody can accomplish what you're seeing right here. And when I say nobody, Matt, you've been around a long time. You ever seen anything like this before?
I once started trying to build something like this quite a few years ago and couldn't because it was just too difficult. I've not seen anyone else build a system that does it all like this so easily for you. No.
Cool. Well, you got eyes out there where I don't have them, so that's why I was asking, because I'm brave enough to ask, and if you said yes, that would have been okay too. But nobody can do
Not
what
that
we're
I've
doing.
seen.
Nobody can do what we're doing, and the results that we're getting, we just know we're getting the results. And yeah, Randy, I'm going to challenge you to something.
Oh yeah. What?
I'm going to challenge you. If anybody in here wants to pick up new dentists in their cities, what if we did a bonus class on what you're doing with dentists for anybody that picks this up tonight, Matt? Well, we're going to do it. Randy could say no, but I know he won't. So I'm kind of, I kind of hedge my bet a little bit because I know Randy, right? Because he gets excited about helping people. Let's do a bonus in here and say anybody that picks this stuff up tonight with us, Matt, we'll do a free class on how to get a dentist client. How's that? Is that cool?
That's fantastic. That's awesome.
Right? So that's going to be your first way to get in the doors to find and be able to go and do what we're doing here with the guy who knows how to do dentists. As long as you're not in his town, right? Which I don't think you are, but you might be. We're going to do a special class for people that only buy through the webinar, okay, that we're doing here, okay? Even on the replays, we'll pick up the people that are on the replays and we'll help everybody get their first dentist client. Is that cool, everybody?
We'll help show you how to.
Well, that's what I
Yeah,
just
there
said.
we go.
Well,
There we go.
we're gonna show them how, right? But if we show them how, they should be able to get a client.
Just to give you a little background.
Wait a minute,
Okay.
Randy, I got one caveat.
Okay.
The dentist has to be a relative in their family. Just kidding,
That way you're gonna give him a good deal. He'll love you
Yeah,
forever.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. You know?
He will do your free, he will do your dental work for free.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've never done that before, Matt, but you get it, man. You understand the power of what we're doing. I really want to be able to do something extra special for your group.
I appreciate that. I was also going to throw in 10 brand new local lead magnet or lead funnels that I've recently had built that cost me over $1,000. So I'm going to throw those in as well for content marketing, digital agency marketing, reputation marketing, local citation marketing, Google business profile setup, SEO agency, social media marketing, web design, pay-per-click marketing, and video marketing. And it's basically a lead capture and funnel for local marketing. And there's 10 separate new ones. I've only recently started selling these, so they're brand spanking new.
Wow. So do I have to buy this in order to get that bonus?
Yep.
All right. Talk me into it. Very cool. Wow, that's pretty cool. All right. So the last thing we want to share with you is
Can you take the screen back?
yeah, I guess I could. We'll just put it back in the regular mode here. Leave it on there. I want people to see this while we're talking. Okay. But we're gonna ask Gary to come on here and just share with you guys something that we're doing, and we're gonna do this as another gift, Matt. It's called Stacks. Okay. And calendar quad stacks. Anyway, go back to the buy links right here, Gary, or where right there, where to go. Well, we want everybody to see the links, and if Rod can put all those in the chat for people that might want to leave early.
If you go one more screen, there's one link, will take everybody right to it.
Oh, I see it. Okay, there you go. So that link takes you to all those pages, right?
Takes you out to all these.
Yep. Okay.
Okay.
All right, cool. So Gary, go ahead and show everybody what we're going to give them.
Okay. If everybody can see this picture in front of you, I don't have the screen, so I'm going to walk you through what's in front of you. What you're looking at here is a triple quad stack, which is done in the calendar as an SEO process. Okay. For those that aren't sure or don't know what this is, how many people have ever heard of a quad stack before? It's not from our own group.
Never. Sounds like a triple Lindy.
Okay. The reason nobody's ever heard of it, because it didn't even exist until about a month ago. You're looking at the first brand new SEO process that has come out in a long time. So I want to talk about the results of it first, but this is if I could move the calendar forward, what you would see right there is this continues on to infinity. So your horizontal stack has a target in there, and all the ones underneath it have a share link. So we have stacked this 15 deep, pushing that target link. The SEO results have been beyond just even describing it. One Amazon product was pushed right through the moon. We had SEO guys put websites that just pushed it for plus 40. Now, how many times have you ever heard of pushing something 40 in just a short little window of time? Normally SEO moves are really small and steady, but the quad stack is kind of unique in what it does. We almost recommend using a buffer as a target because there's so much power. And when you have this much power and it's going to infinity, I have to tell you one thing that the calendar does, folks. Tomorrow, Google will read everything that clicks here and see it as a brand new day and a brand new event. What happened yesterday isn't recorded. It's already passed. It's done. It's over with. And it will never see it again. But it will go to infinity every single day, Monday through Friday. We set these through Monday through Friday because most businesses aren't open on Saturday or Sunday. So we took a Monday through Friday approach. And every Monday through Friday, this reoccurs. And each day is a brand new day as far as how Google reads it and scores it. Does everybody understand that? Is there any
Everybody
questions?
watched the movie 51st Dates or whatever it was called. You ever watch that one, Matt?
Yeah, 51st dates. This is 51st dates all over again.
Like every day she woke up and had the same date over and over again every day.
Yes.
Remember the date from yesterday, right? So we're gonna give this away, you know, for everybody on the webinar, as another free bonus for you, Matt.
First 15. My guys are overwhelmed right now. First 15.
Matt's probably looking at this like you guys are nuts. Like,
Definitely.
really?
Definitely.
I will tell you another story. One of the other guys doing a webinar for us here this month had a video that was roughly 2 years old and it was nowhere to be found. And I think I told Matt this story a few days ago. And his video was on Pokemon. And it was a category in Pokemon. And his video, he forgot to do a couple things. Each of these events have what we call authority docs attached to them. And he forgot to attach any of the docs. Didn't even put a keyword doc in. So after about 2 days, he checked it. He was number 2 on one keyword and he was number 1 on the other in just 2 days. On his first try that he'd ever done this. I think that's pretty impressive. Excuse me.
It's kind of, that was pretty cool. I was excited to see that one as well.
Yeah, I was too.
So Ken's asking a good question here, right? I don't actually understand what quad stack is. Ken, don't feel bad. I'm still trying to learn it myself. Gary's the mastermind of that. Other than to assume it's a bunch of nested backlinks that happen every day.
Well, I'll cover a little more in depth. We create 4, Google has determined there are 4 sites they consider authority. And anybody want to take a wild guess what those 4 sites are if you're not already in the group? Let's get some guesses out here. What does Google consider to be an authority? And Patrick already gave you one of them, so you only got to figure out what the other 3 are. He gave you Wikipedia, right?
Yep.
So let's put our thinking caps on. What else would Google consider to be an authority?
Think we can stop Matt? I got one. Anybody ever heard of a site called scholar.google.com? Anybody ever heard of that? itself is, Anthony, that's a good answer. Yep.
That's a good answer.
Yep. Okay. So when we're looking, Tracy says, nope, nope, nope. Okay. So I win the prize, but take a look at this, guys. This is something, if nothing else that you learned tonight, pay attention to what Gary's showing you here, because there is power in them thar heels, especially with what Matt has and what he's teaching you, the products that he has. You know, everything kind of comes back to how we can send power and we can send authority, but more importantly, along with those two things, relevant content. Okay. So let's say you're working with a law firm. You can go to scholar.google.com and get case law, and you can get content written by universities and EDU universities that are cited by other universities and other EDU universities that are along the path, and utilize this information. It's not linking to your site, don't get that wrong, but it's data that is authoritative data that you can put in as metadata for what you're trying to accomplish, right?
Patrick, while you're showing that, point off to the left, right near the bottom, it says include citations.
Yep.
Okay. So this content is being picked up by third-party sites, and you get the benefit of that authority.
Look at the
And we're gonna show
number
you
of
how to
sites,
do
Matt, that it's being picked up by. The first one is 149,295 other sites that have picked up that particular case law content. So when you put that on your site, put that in your metadata, put that in your keyword stacks and the data that you're doing. I just want everybody to understand that there are things out there that we don't know about it. And then when we do know about it, we cannot ignore it because they're so powerful in terms of Google recognizing that what you're trying to say is connected to where you're pointing the information to, right? So if you have a lawyer site and you're pointing, all of these citation, connections about a particular case law for that particular city and that particular state, can anybody guess how much power Google might think that you're giving and relevant to that? Okay. So this is one of the things that we add when we're doing our calendar stacks. There's authority from these types of sites. And you can take this information, create embed codes, and Matt, you can take the embed codes and put them on those sites that you're helping everybody learn how to use, and put that embed code on the home pages of your site and make it a 100 by 900 line, and it looks like a line break, but that's an embed on your site that has all this data in it that Google will read. That makes sense, Matt?
Yes, sorry, I had you on mute, my microphone on mute. I was just watching my cup
I
of tea.
just thought I just amazed you and you were speechless.
That as well. Needed me a cup of tea.
All right, folks, there are two more that I commonly use for authority. One of them is YouTube. The other is news.google. And we get keyword specific when we create these authority docs. So if your target is a plumber, then we're going to use plumbing searches for those authorities. If it's an affiliate product, we're going to find some relation to that product. If it's an Amazon product, we're going to find something that we can tie our keywords to give it a boost of authority. So it's not just the stacking, but it's a stacking with authority that makes this go. Does everybody understand that? Is there any questions on any of this?
Makes sense.
It's just very, very powerful, and that's one of the things that you learn by being associated with these guys. It doesn't just stop at what you were shown today with the Backlink Factory and POI. If you were in, as I said, the Skype groups, here at Backlink Factory, they're just talking about all sorts of things. In fact, this particular one that I had read to you earlier. If I can find it again.
Yeah.
That was talking about this stacking deal that Gary is talking about. So even though you're in Backlink Factory group, you're getting a lot of information about other things that's just so very powerful. It just is insane. So
Right. Somebody had a question on the programs and the payments. So, Rod or Gary, you want to go over each of the payments and share with them how that works so we can wrap this up?
Sure. We have 3 offerings out
Pull
there.
them up, show them, pull them up and click on them.
I can't pull them up. I don't have a screen to be able to pull them up.
Well, they're right there. Click the link.
Oh, I can't click. Can I click that?
No, you should be able to.
No, I can't click it.
I can't either. Why don't you just explain them? Single pay, hybrid, and monthly.
Yeah, there you go. Okay. We have 3 offers, which are monthly, which is self-explanatory. The hybrid can be a little confusing. That means there's a modest down payment and still a lower monthly. And we have our single pay, which is you pay one time and you have it for life. Our history, I want to cover that real quick. For those of us that have been with us for over 6 years, we've had our softwares running 6 years without dropping or something breaking. So there's a little bit of, if you've had an experience where you bought something as a lifetime and 3 or 4 months down the road it didn't work, take comfort that we've never had that happen. And we have a discount code here you're going to want to use no matter what you get. This MGPOI, which is Matt Garrett POI, is the coupon code that you're going to want to use for anything.
Well, that's for the POI.
That's for the POI.
factory.
Oh, I'm sorry.
In the
I'm sorry.
back, this one here is for the.
You're right. I'm glad you caught that. So there's a link to the link in the chat room for that will take you right to this doc. If you're one of the first 15 there, on the bottom is a form you can fill out and we'll get you a quad stack. Now, I will tell you, we're about a week and a half behind on the quad stack right now.
Okay. Ken is, Rod, can you double check? Ken is questioning the fact that he says the coupon code's not working. I'm not sure which coupon code you're talking about, Ken. Was it the NG or the POI?
Patrick, look at yours because this was my PowerPoint that I just brought up. It's not yours. I couldn't see yours. So is it the same code on yours?
Yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
Let's see, I'm gonna look at it. Hang on a second. MGBL, okay.
While they're doing that and checking that, anybody have a question specific to quad stacks or anything else? Oh, Rod says all these links are clickable if you go to the link he just put in.
Rod, just double check them for everybody, if you could, real quick.
If you use that link, make sure it is a capital G. If you go to a smaller case G, it might not work. I had to put a capital G in. I've just tested the discount coupons and they work for me.
Okay.
Just if whoever's having a problem, make sure you don't have a space. If you copy and paste it and you sometimes have a space at the end, that might stop it working.
Okay. So everything is working. You get the quad stack, you get the bonus from Matt. We're gonna, I can't even put a price tag on, every single person that picks this up, with the webinar. You're gonna get a private coaching with Randy to help you get your first client. I mean, Matt, that's pretty insane, don't you think?
It is. You could be up and running with this so quickly and actually pay for itself very, very quickly. Offering this kind of service to local clients is gold dust. It really is. The quality of the leads you get from GMB rankings is just incredible.
Absolutely. So I challenge everybody, just, I know the pricing is a little high, but we give you a good discount. And, one customer, just one client with somebody who knows what they're doing in that space, you're going to 10x your money in the first year. 10x. Right? Robert says, it's going to be nuts. I'm in. Awesome, Robert. Okay, awesome. Matter of fact,
Just
Randy, wait a minute. I got to ask you. I'm not going to buy this tonight, but can I be in the class with you?
You can.
And Matt can be in the class with you?
Absolutely. Just to give you a little background, I don't come into the
Awesome.
dental industry without some credentials. I helped my son purchase, it was 18 different practices, looked at over 3,000 practices and analyzed probably about 1,000 of them, their financial statements. We saw more dentists than the largest. There's a group out there called Henry Schein, and they have a evaluation group, and we did in 1 month what they do in a year when it came to evaluating practices that he was interested in buying. So, my background with dentists, I understand the industry pretty well. So hopefully I can help you.
Well, Ken's got a question here. A product that is for sale nationally. I'm trying to understand how to maximize the value of the software. Okay. So one of the phases with the POI shows you how to do local. Without the POI, if you're only doing national, then you don't need POI per se. Okay. Just use the backlink factory and it will rank anything, anywhere for any product, over time when you use it. So it's not segmented to local. Backlink factory, we've got guys, especially in different countries, that are in our rooms and they're coming back and sharing, they've used this process, for something that they're selling over in London or other places in different countries. And they're, just with the backlink factory, not the POI, just backlinks, they're ranking them for those businesses. They're ranking them for those products as well. So think of it in two separate ways. If you're only going to be doing affiliate and, large area ranking, POI may not be part of what you need if you're not looking for local business. If you're looking for affiliate businesses, if you're looking for larger businesses that are not local, then POI is not going to help you. So don't pick it up. Backlink Factory can help you with anything that you want to try to get ranked for. YouTube videos, TikTok videos, Instagram, Facebook. If you do any kind of social media marketing at all, what Gary was sharing with you before, it works as well for those things. It's just a little different approach and a little different way of, trying to make sure that you get those rankings. Because we built this around local, but it really is international, if that makes sense to anybody. Does that help you out, Ken? Okay. Coupons all working. Okay. That's good. All right. Matt, anything else on your agenda? I mean, I think we've spent a little bit more time than normal to get this information to you, but you know, you got a
I
great
think-
crowd here. The replays.
I think
are
we've
gonna be-
covered everything. I really appreciate you coming on and showing us this, guys. I really, really appreciate your time.
Well, we're so glad to be able to do this, and we know that the replays are gonna get out, and you know, for the 80 people that didn't show up that signed up for this, you know, they're gonna be excited when they get your emails, and you can really kind of blow those things up with, you were on the webinar, you saw this, and this is exciting, and you know, the whole message back to the community that, you know, you're sharing this with is going to be a little bit more energized at this point. So we're excited for you. This is great.
It's
Any
a
last
great bit of
questions
software
before
and
we
it
sign
will
off?
really help people.
I'm sorry, Matt,
Sorry.
go ahead.
It's a great bit of software and it will really help people.
Yeah, we have fun every day in the rooms. It's like Christmas. It's new presents that show up every day. You know the feeling when you got your community sharing their wins with you every day. It's so cool,
I
right?
do. Yeah.
Makes it worthwhile for us to do what we do to help them out, right? All right, well, we're gonna bag it out and thank everybody for being here. I joined in on the 2nd and it said webinar was set for the 7th. Registration was for the 2nd. Maybe that's why fewer people were here. That might be a reason, but replays will go out and they'll all know, they'll be able to watch it at that point. We'll get you the replay by tomorrow, Matt, okay?
That's fantastic. Thank you very much.
All right, guys, appreciate it. Have a great night.
Hi, everyone.
Thanks for being here.
Thank you very much, guys.
Good night.